2013, adequate notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act has been furnished by inclusion thereof in the annual schedule of meetings for 2013, which has been posted on the bulletin board at Borough Hall, filed with the Borough Clerk, faxed to the out-of-town, the Record, the Community News, and the County Seat newspapers, and distributed to all persons, if any, requesting copies of same pursuant to said act. In case of an emergency or fire alarm, you must evacuate the building by using any of the exit doors in the room. They are immediately to my right and to the double doors at the rear of the room. Occupants must exit the building by using the staircase and not the elevator. This meeting is being recorded by both video and audio and may be rebroadcast.
Welcome our good friend Dr. Meglio back. Good to see you again. Dr. Meglio will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call.
Mayor Padavano?
Here.
Council members Maroney?
Here.
Eisenberg?
Here.
Meglio?
Here.
Ballerini?
Here.
Fleischman?
Here.
Fabre?
Here.
Borough Attorney Ronald A. Dario?
Here.
Deputy Clerk Sally J. Miller here. Borough Administrator Roberta Stern. Here.
Items on or off the agenda. I have a closed session item that we can do, hopefully during this work session period, but also Resolution 7513 be added to the agenda. This is the resolution authorizing the contract for the sidewalk repairs. Public. I have agenda. Councilmember Maroney, anything on the agenda? No, sir. Member Eisenberg. Dr. Meglio. No, sir. Ballerini.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, two quick things. On the agenda, and this is just from more of an administrative point with regard to the background checks. Did you hear the forms are all being stamped with borough employee addresses? Everybody who's applying, everybody who's being provided a form for the background check,
Yes.
being given a form that has the borough of Maywood as their employer. So we need a fresh set of forms because the individuals who are doing
Right, I understood that was
corrected,
yeah.
Thank
Yes.
you. All right, I had a conversation with the chief on that. For off the agenda, also there is a memo that came up from the chief with regard to approval for taxi licenses. He made a point that the ordinance doesn't stipulate with regard to language around limousines. So the ordinance is titled taxi and limousine, but all of the language within the ordinance specifically refers only to taxis. And he asked us to take a look at that. Last thing, and this is, again, more of an FYI for the council members, the chief is soliciting proposals for an electronic sign. This is something that the DEA funds are approved for usage. The chief has asked the council for consideration of location, either here on this property or perhaps other municipal properties in the town or on the park property on the corner of Passaic and Maywood Avenue. So give it some thought. If you have any ideas, share them with me or chief.
Next question, is that a permanent sign?
Yes. So you see them they're popping up in towns all over the place, in schools, towns.
We had talked about this a little while ago. It's informational.
Yeah, it was something that the DEA funding will provide for as a public safety measure. The chief just asked, as he's considering sites, that he gets feedback from the council on that. That's it, Mr. Mayor.
Fine.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a bill list item clarification. I met with the administrator today. Our meeting was cut short a little bit, and I didn't have a chance to bring this up early. We have on there under capital United Computer, upgrade the server.
Which one are you talking about? The 13...
Capital account, United Computer.
38...
PO 131026. 38286.
Right.
If I recall, did we just put that server in a couple of years ago?
This is the first floor. This is all the work that was done to upgrade the police system. This has nothing to do with the one on the third floor, other than the fact that includes now the new emails. But other than that, it's nothing to do with us on the third floor or the second floor. It's strictly the update that was required for his equipment downstairs.
That's all I have right now, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. I do have one closed session item.
Mr. Brett.
Mr. Mayor, I just have a closed session item.
Borough Attorney.
Just something to close, Mr. Mayor.
Borough Clerk.
Nothing at this time.
Borough Administrator.
Nothing, Mr. Mayor.
All right, we have time before the regular meeting at 8:15. It would be prudent if we go into close at this point to deal with the closed session issues. Closed session issues have to do with employment issues that I'm bringing up, litigation as well. So, agenda announcement, if everybody wants to go into closed session.
Motion to go to closed session.
Second.
Councilmember Maroney?
Yes.
Eisenberg?
Yes.
Meglio?
Yes.
Ballerini?
Yes.
Fleischman?
Yes.
Debray?
Yes.
Be resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Maywood pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meeting Act, the Mayor and Council meet in closed session to discuss the following subject matters: litigation, contract negotiations, and personnel. Be it further resolved that as precisely as can be determined that at the time the discussion conducted in said closed session can be disclosed to the public upon taking final action thereon, provided disclosure shall not violate the attorney-client privilege or constitute an undue invasion of privacy. Be it further resolved that the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Maywood will return to open session after this meeting.
We'll be back. Okay. I should have Father Kevin come up for the invocation. Everyone please stand.
Very short. Very short. Very. Let us pray. Creator God, we come together tonight as citizens of the town of Maywood, and we invoke your divine presence among us. May we hear the voices of those who have concerns. May we listen with patience in the spirit of charity. May our deliberations be fair-minded and just. Creator God, we thank you for all the blessings we have received, and we ask that you give us right judgment as we discern the future of this community. For all that has been and all that is yet to be, we offer you thanks and we give you praise. Amen.
Roll call.
Okay. Mayor Padavano?
Here.
Councilmembers Maroney? Eisenberg?
Here.
Meglio?
Here.
Ballerini?
Here.
Fleischman?
Here.
Debray?
Here.
Borough Attorney Ronald A. Dario?
Here.
Deputy Clerk Sally Miller? Here. Borough Administrator Roberta Stern?
Here.
Two items to add to the agenda before we go through the agenda. Resolution 76-13, resolution to adopt provisions of Chapter 48, under which public employer may agree to pay for the state health benefits program in the Borough of Maywood, and Resolution 77-13, a resolution to authorize participation in the state health benefits program of the state of New Jersey in the Borough of Maywood. And I get a motion to add them to the agenda, just to add them to the agenda.
Motion. Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Maroney?
Yes.
Eisenberg?
Yes.
Meglio?
Yes.
Ballerini?
Yes.
Fleischman?
Abstain.
Debray?
Yes.
Okay, moving on. We have two proclamations. First one is Arbor Day proclamation. Whereas Borough of Maywood has previously been named Tree City USA by the New Jersey Department of Forestry, and whereas the Tree City USA honor comes from the National Arbor Day Foundation, a nonprofit educational organization dedicated to tree planting and environmental stewardship, and whereas communities entering into the nationwide program receive the Tree City USA designation upon recommendation by state foresters who co-sponsor the program, and whereas Tree City USA communities receive a flag with the program's logo and walnut-mounted plaque, Tree City USA, community signs, and maple leaf stickers indicating additional qualifying years. And whereas trees make a world of difference in our community, being recognized for the beauty and value of our homes, neighborhoods, parks, and business areas, trees conserve energy, help clean the air, protect rivers and streams, and provide homes for wildlife in certain areas of the state. Now therefore, I, Gregory Taravano, Mayor of the Borough of Maywood, do hereby proclaim April 26, 2013 as Arbor Day in the Borough of Maywood, and urge all citizens to support the efforts to protect our trees, woodlands, and support our borough's urban forestry program. I believe this year is our 28th year, I think, of being designated as Tree City USA. There will be a tree planting ceremony on Thursday, April 25th at Memorial School in honor of Arbor Day. The other proclamation that we have today is regarding proclaiming May National Historic Preservation Month. Whereas CSAID celebrates the theme of National Historic Preservation Month 2013, and whereas the story of New Jersey is recorded in our architecture, historic landscape sites, structures, and historic districts, by preserving these historic resources, we preserve our link to the past. And whereas historic preservation is inherently economically, environmentally, and socially sustainable, fostering a culture of reuse and maximizing the life cycle of all resources through conservation, and whereas historic preservation is an effective tool for managing growth, sustaining development, revitalizing neighborhoods, fostering local pride, and maintaining community character while enhancing livability, and whereas it is important to celebrate the role and history of our lives and the contributions made by the dedicated individuals in helping to preserve the tangible aspects of heritage that has shaped the Borough of Maywood and us as a people, and whereas historic preservation encourages community reinvestment, saving resources, and promoting socially, culturally, and economically rich communities, now, therefore, I, Gregory Taravano, Mayor of the Borough of Maywood in the County of Borough, State of New Jersey, do hereby proclaim May 2013 as National Historic Preservation Month, and call upon all the citizens of the Borough of Maywood to join their fellow citizens across the United States in recognizing and participating in this special observance. Our theme this year for the 4th of July Parade is Our American Heritage, which focuses on preservation and the heritage of the United States, and many of the entrants or floats in this year's parade will be focusing also on the Borough of Maywood's heritage. The Historical Advisory Committee is also moving to submitting recommendations for public citations to residents who restore and repair older homes in the town, and that will probably take place next month during preservation. So, okay, moving on. Public hearing on pending ordinances, adoption of ordinances.
Ordinance 213, an ordinance amending the Borough of Maywood Municipal Code so as to revise Code Chapter 209, Article 7, Subchapter 40. Ordinance 3-13, ordinance to amend Article 12 of Chapter 46 entitled Acting Borough Administrator of the Borough of Maywood Code in the Borough of Maywood, State of New Jersey. Ordinance 413, an ordinance amending the Borough of Maywood Code, Chapter 52, adding a requirement for criminal history background checks for youth program employees and volunteers. Ordinance 5-13, calendar year 2013 ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank, NJSA 40A 4-45.14.
Meeting to the public on any of these ordinances? Anybody? Okay, I'll entertain a motion for adoption.
Wait.
I'm sorry.
You have it handy.
Okay, you might.
Yeah, oh, no. Yeah.
Yep, yeah. Now, there's a switch on the bottom.
Yeah, I did that.
No, it's on the inside too.
Oh. Two switches. Hello? That's one. John Brown, 41 Snelling Avenue. Just for information, ordinance 5-13, this is not really being used to exceed the cap, but rather to bank the cap, correct?
That is correct.
Thank you. Really want to get up here and pick these up.
I will entertain a motion at this time.
Move for adoption.
Second.
to what Mr. Brown said, for anyone who was not present at the last meeting or perhaps tunes into this video and didn't see the last meeting, that the CFO said that the cap bank has not been used in the last 2 years. This is a rainy day emergency thing, and it does not mean that any money is actually being spent.
Anybody else? Roll call.
Okay, Councilmember Maroney?
Yes.
Eisenberg?
Yes.
Meglio?
Yes.
Ballerini?
Yes.
Fleischman?
Yes.
Labray?
Yes.
Be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Maywood that ordinances 213, 313, 413, and 513 be, and they are passed upon second and final reading, and that the Borough Clerk is hereby authorized and directed to advertise the same according to law.
Okay, we'll open the meeting to the public. Anybody wish to speak from the public? Close the meeting. Move for a motion, I will look for a motion and approval of minutes for the March 12, 2013 work session and the March 26, 2013 council meeting in closed session.
So moved. Second.
Roll.
Councilmember Barone?
Yes.
Eisenberg?
Yes.
Meglio? Ballerini?
Yes.
Fleischman?
Yes.
Labray?
Yes.
Presentation of bills and claims and requests for public comment. Have the bill resolution and supplemental bills. Comments? Any motion?
Move for approval.
Second. Roll.
Councilmember Maroney?
Yes.
Eisenberg?
Yes.
Meglio?
Yes.
Ballerini?
Yes.
Fleischman?
Yes, however, I will abstain from all bills paid to the terrorists.
Labray?
Yes.
We have no resignations this evening. We have several appointments for the 2013 swim pool. Citing every name that is here. Go through them as, recite number 1 is Ralph Mano, David Wells, and Austin Way as the swim pool manager, assistant swim pool managers. Then we have full-time lifeguard, head swim coach, full-time lifeguard, assistant swim team coach, full-time lifeguard, swim instructors, full-time lifeguards, part-time lifeguard and swim instructors, part-time lifeguards, and lifeguard substitutes, all at the hourly wages listed under each heading that is on the agenda.
Move for the appointment?
Second. Roll call.
Maroney?
Yes.
Eisenberg?
Yes.
Meglio?
Yes.
Ballerini?
Yes.
Fleischman?
Yes.
Labray?
Yes.
Council approval, 3 items for council review and approval. From Maywood Police Department, permission to hold the annual National Night Out event on Tuesday, August 6, 2013, in Memorial Park from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Number 2, from Maywood First Aid Emergency Squad, request to remove Wilker Silva and Thomas Ruda from the squad effective April 23, 2013. From Principal Ray Bauer, Memorial School, request for permission to block off Fairmont Avenue as part of their annual PTO Carnival on Friday, May 17, 2013, from 7:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m., with a rain date of May 23, 2013, presumably at the same time. Also requesting police assistance to redirect morning and afternoon traffic on those dates.
Move for approval.
Second.
Councilmember Maroney?
Yes.
Eisenberg?
Yes.
Meglio?
Yes.
Ballerini?
Yes.
Fleischman?
Yes.
Labray?
Yes.
Resolution by title.
Okay. Resolution 6913, resolution supporting S1896/A-1503, sharing the burden of property assessment appeal refunds. Resolution 7013, resolution authorizing the redemption of a tax sale certificate for Block 46, Lot 14 to U.S. Bank Custodian for Pro Capital LLC. Resolution 7113, resolution authorizing the redemption of a tax sale certificate for Block 118, Lot 2 to U.S. Bank for Pro Capital LLC. Resolution 7213, resolution authorizing rental/use agreement between the Borough of Maywood and Sky Swim Club. Resolution 7313, resolution approving settlement of a tax appeal for 946 Spring Valley Road, Block 2, Lot 5, in the Borough of Maywood, Bergen County, New Jersey. Resolution 7413, resolution approving settlement of a tax appeal for 4145 East Passaic Street, Block 78, Lot 19, in the Borough of Maywood, Bergen County, New Jersey. Resolution 7513, resolution authorizing the award of a contract to Avapor and Grandson for replacement and/or repairs to sidewalks, curbs, aprons, asphalt, and resetting pavers within the Borough of Maywood. Resolution 7613, a resolution to adopt the provisions of Chapter 48, NJSA 52:14.17.38, under which a public employer may agree to pay for the State Health Benefits Program, SHBP, in the Borough of Maywood, Bergen County, New Jersey. Resolution 7713, a resolution to authorize participation in the State Health Benefits Program of the State of New Jersey in the Borough of Maywood, Bergen County, New Jersey.
We have a motion for adoption of resolutions.
Make motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Maroney.
Yes.
Eisenberg.
Yes.
Meglio.
Yes.
Ballerini.
Yes to all except for 70-13. I'm going to vote no to that.
Is it 69?
I'm sorry, 69-13. I'll throw another. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Fleischman.
Yes to all except 76-13 and 77-13. I will abstain from both of those.
Fabray.
Yes.
No introduction of ordinances, committee reports. Councilmember Morrow.
I read this time is ready, except question for Stern about Amadeo and Creek for the
I received his quotes, and I'm trying to set up a pre-construction meeting, which we have to have with the county since there's a grant involved, for this Thursday. Unfortunately, the young woman who is our community development representative is out sick, and hopefully she'll be back Thursday, but he needs 5 days to complete the project. The kiddie pool, the majority of that quote will be coming from the grant. The rest I have in my in the opening pool fund, and also the concrete work, which we've noticed when we did our inspection a number of tripping hazards, and rather than short cutting and removing the concrete, which would be much more expensive, he is using an epoxy product that he has that will fill in all the spots and make them even to avoid all these tripping hazards that we have around the pool. And that money will also come out of the budget for opening and closing of the pool.
Okay, so when I saw the sheet and the printout of how he gets paid, is
How-
that be voted on?
What do you say that again?
How he gets paid, 30%, 30%, 30%?
No, that's not going to happen.
Oh.
No, and you don't need to vote on it. If I have to get him a check for something, I can just authorize that.
Anything else? Edison, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just in follow-up to last meeting where I briefly discussed building permits, and what I said at the meeting was that there was some objection to doing them online because the applications here at Borough Hall have carbon triplicates and the ones online don't. I made it a point to get to the bottom of this, so I sat with staff this week and I went through a permit from beginning to end. What I discovered is that all you can do is print blank ones online. You can't type them online. You can't upload your drawing online. All of that comes in here handwritten, and then our staff rekeys it all into a state system, and then there's also a legacy system that we have that we use for local zoning, and there's some interest among staff members to potentially update that legacy system. At this point, I want to check out both of those systems and see what additional services there are with them, and I'd like to check out several others. I want to see 5 or 6 vendors, with the goal being that a contractor or a homeowner can do their entire permit application process from the convenience of their home and have as little at the counter to do as possible. Also, to have as little duplicity of keying in as possible. The concept that the homeowner writes it and then we key it all in again when you could possibly have, 2 screens and they could say, okay, approve, and it would jump over into the other one or something like that. Because I realize that our staff does have to review the permits to make sure that they've been entered properly, but the concept of keying everything in twice and also just denying residents and contractors the ability to do it from their office online, to me, it seems so backwards. So I will get back to you with more on that as I check out several of the applications out there.
Great. Anything else? Dr. Meglio.
No, nothing to say, sir.
And it's great to see you.
Thank you.
Ballerini.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Quick update on the gun buyback program. As I had announced at previous meetings, the Bergen County Sheriff's Department, with funding from the prosecutor's office, ran a program across Bergen County and brought in almost 1,400 guns through the program, 200 of them almost in Maywood alone. So to call the program a success would probably be an understatement. We ran out of money. That's how active the program was in Maywood. And again, these are not
the Sheriff's Department.
the folks, no, the money that they gave to the folks who were here at Maywood, they dispersed it all and had to go back to the prosecutor and get more money for
Funded through the prosecutor.
from the prosecutor. Yes, I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Hint the first time. Yes, this was all funded by no cost to the borough. These are guns that are in people's attics or maybe broken and just sit in a drawer somewhere. And getting them off the streets is a very good thing. So I congratulate the chief, the folks that work the program, and the sheriff's department. Excuse me. I just want to also let you know that there's going to be a blood drive on the 5th of May, run by Eagle Scout candidate Michael Pegg. That will be at Maywood Avenue School from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. You do need to call to schedule an appointment. I'll leave that number at 201-247-3077 and make sure that gets on the website as well. The next meeting of the planning board will be here on Thursday, the 25th of April at 7:30. There is a subdivision application for a property at 370 Maywood Avenue on the agenda. That's it, sir.
Mr. Fleishman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A couple of brief items. On Saturday this past weekend, we had a shredding event. I just want to thank Joan Rivera, Charlotte, and our recycling coordinator for being there. Joan was loading and unloading paper like a champ. He was filling the barrels and unloading cars faster than I've ever seen. There was tons of residents, tons of paper. I was there for only a brief period, a couple hours, and they had almost 3 tons of paper by the time I left, and it was still going. There was a line of cars in front of the school. So I think the recycling is going to plan another event for later in the year. It's always a big successful event. And they're also talking about scheduling a electronics collection also at the same location, which was a big hit last year as well. On Sunday, as everyone knows, we had our street fair, which attracted tons of residents from all over the county. I specifically want to thank our DPW, Nick and Engen. They did a great job all day keeping up with the garbage barrels, keeping the street as clean as possible with all that traffic. They did a great job. Also, when the street fair was over, there was an additional cleanup crew added with the sweeper and a couple trucks, and they cleaned up the street very efficiently and very quickly. And I just want to thank them for that, and a great day out. A lot of the vendors at the street fair also commented on what a successful day it was. They had also approached the promoter and asked for better vendors, better opportunities to market their wares, and I think we noticed a big, tremendous difference in the quality of the vendors that were there on Sunday. So great job by everyone. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That's all I have right now.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, if I could, in conjunction with what Councilman Fleischman just said, perhaps a letter from the mayor and council addressed to the DPW for a change, just thanking them and telling what a great job it was that could be posted down at the DPW.
Council President Spurgeon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Real quick, Roberta, with regard to the letter, have we sent that letter to the Hathaway Foundation?
That's a good question.
Okay.
Thank you, and I thought we did.
You took them for the generator?
Yeah, I thought we did too, but,
Okay, just wanted
yeah, just
You
double
brought that
check.
into my answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll double check.
I'll follow up with
I'm
Mark.
almost sure we did.
All right. Mr. Mayor, there was a membership drive at the street fair, going to the street fair for both the fire department and the fire police. 2 people actually showed interest in joining the fire department. Our emergency services are always looking for volunteers, so I would strongly suggest anybody that is interested to please call the borough, and you will be put in touch with the correct person for the department that you're looking to volunteer for. Roberta, another question. Where are we with the grants on the fire gear?
As of April 12th, 4 people in 4 towns in Bergen County, Chief Newman and I were looking through the list that was sent to us by the grant writer, and we were not one of them yet, but we have not been notified that, as many others have been, that their application has been denied, so we're still hoping for money. We don't know how the priority works, but there's still money there, and as long as they've asked for our banking information, which they need to send us money directly, we thought that was a good sign. So we have our fingers crossed that we're still going to be on the list. But so far, only 4 towns from Bergen received anything.
Okay.
And that was just last week, so they're still giving money out.
Thank you. The alarm system at the library is installed, working, and connected to a central station. Roberta, again, another question. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Is the staff going to be shown how to use that?
So far, Joe has been shown. The alarm was set last night for the first time, and it was shut successfully by the first person in. On Thursday at 2 o'clock, the staff members, all staff members will be told about the alarm system and how it works, but there are only 5 that are going to have access and codes to use it.
How about any members of the staff, DPW or anybody?
And the DPW will be represented at that meeting because there will have to be one access through the DPW because they do access the building when it's closed. So somebody from the DPW will be represented on Thursday.
Okay. Thank you. After a very successful fish and chips event last month at the Senior Center, Billy Jelinski is looking into several different other events, and one of them will be a chicken and chips. So as the details come in on that, I'll bring it to the council. And one other thing, just with regard to the removals on the ambulance that we approved, those, I just want to state that those are not disciplinary in nature. It was just a matter of participation in calls. And that's all I have. Actually, welcome back, Dr. Medley. I'm glad to have you back. You were missed by this council. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Just a few things. I would also like to thank the recycling committee for the shred event. It was great. I know our borough attorney contributed greatly to the amount of paper that was shredded. Thank you for hauling what I believe was half of your office into the shredder. But there will be an electronics event. I believe Ms. Shealy has put together one for June 1st. So that looking forward to that. It's usually a good event, and this year the proceeds from that will go to the borough. I would like to congratulate especially Ms. Shealy for the hard work that she did putting the shred event together and getting the electronics event together. She's doing a very good job as our recycling coordinator. As to the street fair, echo what Councilman Fleischman said, it was a great event. Many of the businesses along Pleasant Avenue, they sacrificed the street for the day, did very well at the fair, from talking with them. This year, as in last year, the borough is being compensated by the vendor, promoter rather, to help offset the DPW expenses. With the cleanup, DPW did another fantastic job again this year. The street was spotless.
Great on Monday.
Did a great job. I'd also like to thank the police department and the specials who provided security for the day. Everything seemed to go flawlessly. There were tons of dogs there. I didn't see any problems. Everything seemed to go very well. So congratulations to everybody involved. Congratulations to the Pancake House that is now open. So I hope everybody participates and solicits and uses the pancake house. It looks like a great addition to Pleasant Avenue. They've done a fantastic job renovating that site, and I'm sure they're going to be one of the great anchors of Pleasant Avenue. Again, the consignment shop at 54 West Pleasant will be opening in a couple of weeks. That's next to the bagel store, Bacon Bagels. So we're looking forward to that addition to the block as well. I guess we're moving forward with the pump house with our council on that. Not this council, but another council to move forward with the pump house project and hopefully get that offline sooner than later and get the easements completed. Hopefully within the next month that'll occur. I guess from a financial point of view, we have several bonds that are outstanding that haven't been fully utilized, and I'm talking with the CFO to close out those bonds and start new capital projects. One capital project that we're going to probably propose to the council and work with the council to get put together is for repairs to many of the municipal infrastructure, such as the heating and air conditioning at the senior center, some repairs to this building, and technology upgrades to the existing computer systems utilized by the third floor and borough employees to get that up to snuff as well. And then I think it's becoming quite clear that we need to take a long, hard look at some of our fields and maybe put together a task force, if you will, of conglomeration with the folks that use it, the recreation folks in town, the recreation leagues, BPW, to sit down and really go through the necessary improvements to all parks and ball fields in town and see if we have to put together a capital bond for that as well. I know that there's a lot of improvements that need to be done, and come up with some creative ways to get that done as well. Lastly, on a financial matter, I am very proud to announce that the Standards & Poor's has raised the status of the borough to AA. We were downgraded a couple years ago. We've been upgraded now, and part of the upgrading, the report prepared by Standards & Poor's states that Maywood has maintained what we view as sound financial performance despite the use of current fund reserves in fiscal 2012 to stabilize taxes for that year. The borough kept the budget flat for fiscal 2013. That is going to be very beneficial to us in our bond ratings and selling bonds in the future, and I think it's something that this council, last year's council, and the CFO, and everybody in the finance department should be very proud of. So, that being said, last item, as I see one of my green team members here, the community garden still has beds available for the volunteers in town. Several organizations have claimed to a few of the beds. There are a couple of beds still open for planting this year. So please contact the borough clerk if you are part of a volunteer organization and like to lay claim to one of these beds. So that's all I have. We'll move on to the borough attorney. I've got nothing else. Borough clerk.
No report.
Borough attorney.
I only have one small item. The swim pool registration forms and brochures are ready to go. They'll be mailed this week. Just as a heads up that though the brochures are going out early, there will no longer be any free passes for early registration. The pool committee had decided last year to do away with that, so there is just going to be regular registration starting, I didn't bring the date, but you'll get the brochure in the mail shortly. That's it, Mr. Mayor.
All right.